This episode of TheBurnZA is sponsored by Eskom for randomly deciding that I don't have any more data left, although I do have plenty. I'm very frustrated because I was having an extremely fruitful, productive conversation with someone else on Discord, with a couple of people actually. We're talking about relationships and more specifically gay and trans relationships and so on, and how that differs with straight relationships. Yes, sounds like an interesting topic, right? Yeah, I thought so too, and I was very involved in it, and then all of a sudden just boom, you're out of data, sir. Even though we have your money, the money that you paid us, we have it, but you're out of data. This has happened before. It's just a glitch. It's a glitch. Anyways, so this is a spontaneous podcast. I felt I was having a good conversation, and now I'm having a conversation with myself and with you. I'm speaking to you. Here's my unwritten, unplanned monologue to you guys. Yeah, and so South Africa is a show. It's a show. It's very entertaining. It's sort of like you can predict the episodes, right? You can predict what's going to happen in the future, just because you know the what has happened in history, throughout history, with similar policies and similar fucking ideologies and philosophies and all of this. So I mean, but I don't want to talk about South Africa specifically. Oh, and another thing that really like breaks my heart is what's happening in Hong Kong. I mean, to me, Hong Kong was this sort of like bastion of the free market and civilized people being, living in a civilized, clean, productive society. But at the moment, it's chaos. It's riots. A police officer shot a teenager in the chest not too long ago. There was an undercover police officer that tried to set off like a Molotov cocktail, and protesters tried to stop him. It was a crazy scene. There's a video, you can search for this, and he almost like set a light, like he was on fire for a couple of seconds, and then he dropped his gun on the floor. You can see the magazine flying in one direction and the gun in the other, and there's a protester that tries to pick up the gun, and then there's like a little bit of a, the cop runs and pushes him, and it's extremely tense, and they're burning trains and stuff. This is what I would obviously expect in South Africa, but this is happening in one of the most civilized countries, towns, districts in the world. So that is a mind bender for me, and very, very disappointing. And obviously, yes, we can say China, there's encroachment, and they are fed up, and they've got all these demands and everything. I'm not going to read it out to you now. I don't have them in front of me. This is spontaneous, like I said. You can look at those. They have 5 demands. The 6th one apparently now was released today, which is disband the police, which is obviously like it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But the protesters are acting uncivilized. They are, they have opposition. There are opposition people speaking out, and those people that speak out and say something, basically using their freedom of speech, get hammered. They get like with fists. And these are the oppositions of the people that claim that they want independence from China and so on. It's a very complicated situation, but it is extremely disheartening, because it just shows that it doesn't matter if it's the most civilized country in the world versus the most uncivilized country in the world. There can always be trains burning and police officers shooting teenagers and like all sorts of terrible shit. So I think it would be good to bring up a topic that a topic of my previous podcast, which I put it on unlisted, and the reason for that is because I was drunk. I'm not sober at the moment, but I'm not drunk. But it was just a little bit embarrassing. I didn't say stupid shit. I actually think I spoke quite good sense, but just the fact that I was drunk is, it's embarrassing, and yeah, I'm sorry. There was, however, a listener that commended me and said thank you and don't delete it. I didn't delete it, dear listener. I just it's on it's unlisted at the moment. But thank you very much. In this one, I would like to try and redeem myself. So I made a series. Well, it wasn't a series. 2 videos of making a case for atheism, and in those 2 videos I was very facetious and very sort of actively trying to kind of agitate, right? That makes sense. Actively try and agitate. Even though I was trying to make a case for atheism, I have to talk about religion, and the most predominant religion and the people that are the most willing to participate in debate and discussion are Christians. It's undeniable. And after speaking to some people and after some thinking and reflection, I've realized that it's so unproductive to just humiliate and bash Christians. Christians are by far part of the best ethical, moral religion at the moment. If you think about all other religions, you can say yes, but what about the Danes? Or I think that the Danes, they can't even walk without looking at the ground all the time, just in case they step on an insect or something. So they're so moral to the point where they are completely paralyzed. But then you need people in hospitals, doing surgery and all of these things, and this usually just seems to be happening in Christian societies, and therefore I will try and refrain from just bashing Christians, because Christians are, as far as I'm concerned at the moment, my ally. Look, I can never disregard rationality, empiricism, objectivism. I cannot. I'd have to suffer a fucking brain injury for me to become a religious person. And I'm sorry, this is again now facetious towards the religious, but Christianity is by far, undisputably, the most ethically and morally good religion we have at the moment. And to just keep bashing Christians is quite fucked up, and I know it. Look, I know I'm an asshole. I don't care. I'm okay, actually. I'm okay with being an asshole. I don't have this this desire for everyone to like me. That would just be weird, actually. I don't care for fame and popularity. What I care for is fucking truth, reality, honesty. And that's it. And that's what I can offer you. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm almost going on 10 minutes here. I can't imagine that you've actually listened to all of this. If you did, guys, friends, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am working on my big sort of thought-out podcast at the moment. It's a hell of a lot of research, a hell of a lot of thinking and writing and discovering you're wrong here and going back. It's a big thing. It's sort of like a thesis, right? And what I'm talking about is my podcast on IQ and intelligence, and what that means in society, and what that means for individuals and so on, and what that means for the past and the future. So it's a big topic. And I don't take it lightly. I don't take it as lightly as I do fucking Telkom not being able to provide me with decent internet. Okay, rant over. Thank you, guys. Cheers.